Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today we are going to discuss the next topic, thin layer chromatography, applied chemistry for fourth year class. Thin layer chromatography, I have told you in the last lecture about the chromatography. It's a separation technique, isolation of components from the mixture. In any type of the chromatography, two things are very necessary, that is the stationary phase and the mobile phase. Now, today we are going to discuss the thin layer chromatographies. How do you define this thin layer chromatography? It's a technique, it's a separation technique which is used to isolate, to separate the components from the mixture by using a stationary phase. Here stationary phase is the silica gel and any solid which is used as a stationary phase, which are supported by the glass sheet, alumina sheet or anything else. So this is a very versatile technique. You can say it's a latest and advanced version of the paper chromatography. And it was carried out on the same fashion, in the same fashion as we have done in the paper chromatography. Principle is very important in the partition chromatography. Paper is the partition chromatography, but the thin layer chromatography is called as the adsorption chromatography, because here it's also called as the TLC and solid liquid chromatography. Mobile phase is always the liquid, but the stationary phase here in the TLC is the solid, which are used silica gel, cellulose powder, alumina, which are spotted or which are coated on the glass slide or any alumina foil or any sheet where these silica gel, alumina or cellulose papers are coated. I'm going to discuss about the principle. So there are two phases, stationary phase and the mobile phase. It shows the mobile phase migrate components from the mixture by the differential rate of migration. What is the differential rate of migration? It means affinity of your component, the mixture. Either it has affinity towards the stationary phase, so it absorbs, not move faster, and it absorbs the stationary phase. Second is, if it shows the affinity or soluble towards the mobile phase, it moves faster with the mobile phase. This is the adsorption chromatography. Next is the procedure. Look at the picture. This is a beaker type jar. This is called the chromatographic jar. In like the paper chromatography, three things are important. Number one is there's the stationary phase. Second is the mobile phase and the application of sample. So first of all, look at the picture. Here is a jar, that is a chromatographic jar. You can take a beaker also. And second is this slide. This is used a glass slide which is used in the biological purposes. So glass slide is a stationary phase. This jar is a mobile phase, and on this sheet, what will you do? This is very important. This slide, I'm going to take this slide, glass slide. These are also available, and we can purchase it pre-coated slides from the market. But we can also prepare at the lab. How do you prepare this slides? First of all, you take the glass slide and coated a slurry of silica gel, alumina, cellulose powder. Any stationary phase, any solid which are used as a stationary phase, you can select. So for example, I have selected the silica gel and make a slurry with the water and pour it on the glass slide and make a thin layer. As this chromatography name indicated, thin layer means the coating of the silica gel on the glass slide will be very smooth and very there is no lump. Otherwise chromatography or development is not possible. That's why we are going to purchase from the market a smooth and very thin layer. If it is thick layer, so separation is not possible. So what are the method used for preparing this slide? You have to take a slurry of the silica gel, apply it on the glass sheet, and by any method, by pouring, by dipping, spraying and anything else, you can prepare the slide and place it in the oven to dry it. Now your stationary phase is ready. Take your jar, as you have looked at the picture. Take your jar, put a mobile phase, place the mobile phase in it, but here in the TLC, your mobile phase will be saturated in the jar. So put it mobile phase before the 20 minutes before going to the development. After that, you have to take your stationary phase slide in the same manner as you have done in the paper chromatography. Origin line, you have to mark it with as we are discussing about the development, you have placed tertiary phase, you have placed mobile phase in the beaker, and after development, you are taking out the chromatogram, the glass slide. You have to take out the glass slide. This is your chromatogram. The particles or components are easily separated in this slides. Now, it's a very easy method, but here something is different. If your components are colored, you can easily detect it with the naked eye. But if your components are not colored, so then how do you detect your colorless compounds? There are two methods. Number one, if there is polyfluoro type compounds, when you have placed in the UV light, it will be fluorescent. It shows a fluorescence, you can easily detect. But some other methods, chemical processes can also be used. You have to put your slide in the acids, so dry it, take out from the acid, dry it, and place under UV. So your darkened spots, your spots are darkened, it becomes visible to your naked eye. It's a process. And so many other processes, for example, Ninhydrin for the amino acids, iodine vapors, all these agents, spraying agents, are used to visualize the colorless components or colorless spots and placed it under the UV light. You can easily detect it by these three methods, physical methods. Next step is the very important RF value. I have already told you about this. These are not only the qualitative purposes. These techniques are not only used for the qualitative, for the identification of the components from the mixture, and for the identification of the unknown compounds, but also used or quantified. This is very important. This is called the RF value. RF value is called as the retention factor. How do you determine the retention factor? As we have done in the last chamber, RF is equal to distance traveled by the your spots or the components or compound substances after the development divided by the distance traveled by the solvent front. You can say mobile phase, solvent front, anything is after the development. Now, how do you determine this RF? Look at this picture. In this picture, different spots are developed, separated after the chromatogram, after the development. In this way, you can easily measure the distance from the origin line to the line, ending line. Ending line is the line of the solvent front. Origin line is the line from where you have to put the sample. After the development, you measure A, B, C values. This is called as the RF values. RF values, now you, by using this RF values, by using the reference, you can easily detect the unknown compounds. So this chromatography is very important with the RF value point of view. Thank you.